Yo, 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 yo. What is going on, CoD Familia? It is your boy BN, aka Mr. Kingdom Builder. And wow, I'm excited. We have the update 1.0.26 patch notes titled War Reignited. As always, we're going to read through everything. I'm going to give you my thoughts and my opinions. We'll do a little conclusion at the end. And as always, we'd love to hear your thoughts. If you enjoy the content, make sure you throw us up because it helps out a lot. Okie dokie artichokes, here we go. Let's dive right in. So, update is going to be dropping on the 19th. We already knew that, so we're 7 days away. Let's start with number 1. All new season of Strife. The battlefield awaits who will emerge victorious. From June 28th, 2024, which is 16 days away, it's a little more than 2 weeks. Players who have completed 3 or more seasons will return to their home realm at the end of the current season and begin registration for Season of Strife. Interesting. So is this like a new KvK type season that they're coming out? Also, when they say 3 or more seasons, are they including side seasons or just the main seasons? Given that they did not specifically say that, or if they do change it, then, or if they don't, or I guess if they don't, it technically would just be, it could be season 1, 2, season 1, season 2, and then the first side season, which would total 3 seasons. The process consists of 4 phases: preview, registration, matchmaking, and exhibition. When the process ends, you will enter the season you have registered for. Interesting. So you're going to be able to register for different seasons now. Now, keep in mind, this is something that for those of you who might be wondering, okay, boss, well, what is going on here? Keep in mind, this is something that I have no idea what's happening here. Okay, lovely. This is something that they touted about when I interviewed Aussie and Leo. Right, for some of you that may or may not remember this, where when I had a chance to sit down with them, they mentioned that there would eventually be additional KvK seasons that you could register for. So this, again, to me is not kind of out of the ordinary because they kind of already hinted at this. But it's nice to see that there's now a confirmation, at least, of the new information. Okay, maybe we'll get a little bit more about that. It doesn't seem like there's too much yet. Registration rules are as follows. The High King can select a season of Strife for their realm. Once they have selected and registered for a season of Strife, all players in the realm will be considered to have registered. Okay. After registration ends, the High King will be unable to change the season of Strife. Realms registered for the same season will be matched with each other according to the rules. Oh, interesting. Okay. Each season contains multiple camps, with each camp consisting of multiple realms. Okay, so basically each camp will have multiple kingdoms, depending on which sides they fall on. If a realm fails to register for a season of Strife 3 times in a row, they will be automatically registered for a random season of Strife during the next registration period. Okay, so basically I would imagine kind of a fail-safe way to, so people kind of have to engage, I guess, so to speak. Okay, I'm kind of 50-50 on that one, but all right. So this is pretty big, right? I mean, the implications for this is basically you are going to now be able to go and hunt matchups, right? That, I think, is the biggest pro that we see this, right? It's if you want the biggest matchups for the top realms to fight against each other, or the top ones in each season, depending on if you're able, I would imagine this will fall under any kingdom that is played for 3 or more seasons will then be in this area, right? So it's not just going to be the kingdoms that are still in season 2. Sorry, not season 2. It would be season B1, right? And then so if you're in season B1 and you finish, or you're season T1 or SB2, or eventually season T2, depending on when season 3, the main season 3 officially comes out, any of the kingdoms that fall into those current seasons will be able to go and match up against one another. So they're kind of giving us our own way to matchmake. And so I wonder if that then means that when I come out with like my top kingdom lists, maybe now I'll start doing lists based on more than the top 25 kingdoms, so we can look at what potential matchups can be based on the pool of kingdoms that are eligible for Season of Strife. So an example here would be, let's say kingdoms 1 through 250 or through 200 are eligible for Season of Strife because they've played through 3 seasons, Season 1, Season 2, and Season SB1, which is Bellerin Season 1, right, the first side season storyline. And now those kingdoms are eligible to all match up against each other I wonder if now it might be worth me doing something like that, so that way we can look at what do the matchups look like, what could the matchups potentially look like for the ones we'd want to see, and then also get an idea on, who's dodging who, right? There's always storylines there. And yeah, so I guess this kind of just means it's more in our manual control for us being able to do these things compared to relying on the developers. And it's funny when you look at something like this, which is basically taking like the workload off of them, right? Because before they would have to, and keep in mind, they probably really season 2 is already a layup, because now they're doing it where it's 6 kingdoms in order, right? So it's like 351 to 356, 357 to 382, etc. Right? Are matching. So that's a given. The only KvK matchmaking that they really have to do on the back end is season 3, or AKA right, unofficial season 3, which is SB1, right? That's the one that they really would have to maybe go in and manually sort. But once you finish that, and now you go into Season of Strife, now it's basically in our control, right? So it takes off some of that workload from them. And I'm saying all of this to say that I hope they look at something like that. The developers look at that and say, okay, we need to try and give these kingdoms a little bit more autonomy, a little bit more control. I personally think this is a win, because now no one can put any blame on the developers. No one can say and talk about matchmaking. It's all in the kingdom's hands, which puts, in my view, more, I don't know if I want to say pressure, but I feel like it puts a lot more responsibility and a lot more accountability now on kingdoms to do their due diligence, do their research, see what matchups are going to be, and pick matchups that are going to be the most favorable for them, which also will play out more for their longevity. So that way they're not getting into like unfavorable matchups, so to speak, right? And then you also, like I said, if you're looking at like the top 6, or depending on how many kingdoms/realms can go into Season of Strife, let's say it's 6 or 8 kingdoms, depending on how many, will we see the top 6, the top 8 kingdoms, right? Will they do something different than that, right? Again, it kind of goes back to, like I said, I like this because I just feel like it gives us a little bit more control. It puts a little bit more of that emphasis in our hands as the community. So I'm actually in favor for this. Again, I want to see obviously more of the details. I want to see specifically how everything is going to play out. But at face value, I like this more than I don't like it. Let's go to number 2, Smooth Route to Prosperity. The new migration system is now online. Migration is now freer. Is that right? And more wide-ranging. After the Season 1 summary, players can migrate to any server in the same season that has yet to enter Season of Strife. Oh, interesting. Wow. That's... Hang on, my brain is firing on all cylinders. Check after the update for detailed rules. So, Season of Strife. Players who have completed 3 or more seasons will return to their home realm at end of the current season and begin registration. So, Season of Strife means you have to have played for 3 or more seasons. We know that. This is saying after Season 1, players can migrate to any server in the same season that has yet to enter Season of Strife. So now my mind is going, okay, so does that mean that now you can migrate to a Season 2 and a Season B1 kingdom? As long as they have not entered Season of Strife. So they're basically giving you this window of like Season 1 through 3 kingdoms can migrate to each other, and then Season 3, beyond Season 3 kingdoms, like Season 3 plus, or 3.5, or Season 4, if you want to call it that, will then be able to migrate to each other. So they're kind of like creating like 2 different migration batches. Is that what we're seeing? Or is it more of Season 1 kingdoms can migrate between each other, Season 2 kingdoms can migrate between each other, right? Because they have to be in the pre-realm phase, right, that they said, which is basically their migration window / when you're in home realm. And then Season B1 can migrate between each other, and then after that, you're able, right? Or is it at the end of SB1, which is technically the end of Season 3? So, okay, so a number of questions there, because I feel like this maybe isn't incredibly specific enough for me to say, okay, I'm really hard leaning on one way or the other for how this reads. Server same season as it to enter Season of Strife. Okay. I mean, it does say any server, but it does say in the same season. So I would assume based on this, okay, so it probably is, if I had to make my conclusion, I would say any kingdom in Season 1, any kingdom in Season 2, any kingdom in SB1, right, as long as it's before Season of Strife. So, okay, I guess the wording is okay there. Was anyone else confused on that initially, like I was for a brief moment? At least before Yeah, okay, let's go to number 2. To improve your user experience, we have added a number of test features such as auto exploration, auto peacekeeping, and auto gathering, quick collecting, multi-replenishing resources, and multi-speed up. These features will be made available on select number of test servers before being officially rolled out. Interesting. So, auto exploration, okay, which is, I mean, to be fair, I get it, but I personally like auto exploring. And the fact is that something like auto exploring, to be clear, is something that you can go and get additional rewards for. And that is something that also favors kind of more of a free-to-play friendly approach, right? Rather than kind of more of a spender-favored approach. And that's because it's more grindy. And this is just based on kind of the general-ish that if you're spending, it's usually because, and this is obviously more with mid-high spenders, it's because you just may not have enough time and you're spending to compensate for some of the time that you otherwise would maybe invest, but you just cannot, right, due to anything that's kind of going on for reasons on why you would spend. Some reasons, I should say. So, I don't know. I don't know if I'm a fan of this auto exploration thing. Like, I get it on one end. Yeah, would people rather auto explore and then spend that time investing into events and other things that can get them other forms of progression? Sure. But this is also something that can get you kind of a short burst piece of progression and development from collecting rewards through things like villages and caves, etc. So I don't know if I'm a fan of the auto exploration. Right now I'm kind of leaning more of like, no, rather than yay, I'm excited. Auto peacekeeping. I'm somewhat curious on what this means. Does that mean that you're going to go out and auto hit units on PvE? So if you have peacekeepers in your marches, will you just like automatically go and fight at units or darklings at a predetermined level? So you'll just set it for like 30 or something, and then you'll go out and just fight them back to back to back until it drains the CP and you don't have to do anything. So it'll auto search, auto fight, auto recall, and come back, depending on if you set them to stay out or to not after the first fight. So, okay, what does that mean? Now, if it is that, then I'm not a fan of that. Again, once similar to the auto exploration, it's taking away some of those grinding aspects to the game. And most of the time, when you're doing peacekeeping, it's being done it's being done when you're not at war, right? You're not fighting. Now, yes, you can make the argument for being able to utilize peacekeeping when you're at wartime, and it's probably a little bit more difficult to do that. However, I don't know. This is something, if it is that, and it'd be nice if there's a little bit more details, I am a little bit more leaning against that than I am in favor of that. Auto gathering. Once again, I still feel like the same thing. I'm leaning a little bit more in favor of manual gathering because it is a grinding mechanic, right? Rather than auto gathering. Right? These things like exploration, peacekeeping, gathering, these are things that do factor into account progression. All of them do, with some of them being more long-term rather than short-term. But all of these are free-to-play friendly. Now you're making everything automated. This is just not the thing to make automated, in my opinion. So I think for all three of those, I'm definitely against it, as I feel like it is a nerf to free-to-play. Sadly, and just people that enjoy grinding. Now, that's aside from, yes, they do still need to add more events, a lot more events, right? Because you need to have this ability to right, have, like I've said before, I feel like you need to have the ability to have like 16 hours of content, right? And maybe that might be a little high, but the point is it's an up to number. It doesn't mean everyone's going to do that. It just means that is available if you're someone who wants to spend that amount of time in the game. There just needs to be enough events, and sadly, there's just not right now. Most people I've spoken to have told me they can log in for around an hour and do all the events, right, that are going on in that moment. Aside from their, aside from their like PvE Darkling hunting, and again, we'll do something on that too as well. Quick collecting. I wish I knew a little bit more what this is. Maybe quick collecting is in your city, so it's like you click something. So something like this I would be okay with. If it's quick collecting, which is like one click to collect all of the resources in your city, I guess I'm somewhat okay with that. I mean, does it factor into progression? It does, because you're gaining resources. You basically have to click one of each resource, so you only have to do up to 4 clicks, so they're just reducing 4 clicks to 1 click. I mean, okay, I guess I might be okay with something like that. I guess I'm still kind of 50-50. I'm still 50-50 on that one, though. Multi-replenishing resources and multi-speed up. Resource replenishment. I feel like maybe I'm blanking on where that lies. Multi-speed up, though. So this would be something where, I guess this is something where, like, you're upgrading something, or you're training something, or researching something, and it applies multiple speed ups to do it, so you don't have to click the speed ups individually. I'm actually in favor of that. That's something I'm in favor of, because that is something that is just a grindy task, right? Yes, does it factor into progression? But it's the thing you're doing is not the item. The item you're using is not progressing your account. I mean, in a sense it is, but it's not as though you're collecting a resource which is an immediate progression development of the account, right? You're clicking on a bunch of speed ups to get to a point to where you can upgrade this building or finish this tech, which then develops your account. So I feel like this is a little bit just too time consuming. Maybe some people don't agree with that, but I'm actually okay with this if that's where this is going. These features will be made available on a select number. Okay, so we already read that. So let's go to hero levels. We'll no longer reset at the beginning of the season. At the same time, we have increased the XP required to reach hero levels 31 through 60 in Season 1. Oh, interesting. Wow, so they're increasing the... See, I don't know if they needed to increase the EXP. This is my thing. I would have loved for them to not increase the EXP and just let it go. Right now, if you're increasing EXP, it's kind of an all-around buff or bonus at that point, right? I think everyone is probably excited to be able to now level up heroes and get them to 60 a little bit faster. But the fact is everyone's gonna get their heroes to 60 anyways if you play long enough, right? So would I have maybe liked to see them implement this first and then see how it plays out and then make adjustments? Or are they making the EXP adjustment based on current data that shows on average how long it's taking for people, like how far people can get per season? That obviously would have been nice for them to include. Why are you adding an increase in EXP? You know, which again just kind of lowers and reduces the grind element to it as well. So I don't know if this is absolutely needed right up front. Number 4, tactics manuals will no longer be scrapped at the end of the season. You will be able to continue using tactics manuals to level up your heroes after they reach level 50. After they reach level 50, okay. Well, what? So, okay, I mean, I guess it's nice. They're not being scrapped. But now there's a stipulation where you cannot use a tactics manual until you get the heroes to level 50? I don't get that. That one doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. Yeah, I don't know. I wish there would have been an explanation here, because I just, there's nothing I can think of on why you would soft cap that at being able to use a tactics manual, which is basically an EXP book to level up your heroes. And now you have to wait to 50? Yeah, I don't know. I'm a little flabbergasted on that one. Once you reach City Hall level 4 and possess over 100 keys, you can choose to open all chests on the hero recruitment screen. I don't get this one. I'm slightly confused, because you can open all of your keys once you hit 10. Oh, I see. So maybe what it's saying is like it's a prerequisite to hit, so you have to hit level 4 and possess over 100 keys, and then it'll give you the feature option to do the 10 times unlocks. Is that where we're going with this? Someone will have to let me know if that's how you're reading that, because I feel like that's how I'm reading it. After selecting draw 10 times multiplier times in the artifact draw screen, you will be able to skip all opening animations for that day when you next choose to draw 10. I mean, to be fair, I'm somewhat okay with the opening animation. I can understand how some people probably just want to skip it and they just like want it and move on. I don't think it takes that long of time. I think the big thing that people have mentioned is just being able to draw from all the Alliance bot chests all in one go. And you can give us kind of an all animation for that, but just do it all in one go, you know, maybe a little bit faster. so to say. I think that's like the biggest thing people have really. Yeah, I don't know about this. So basically, you have to do like a 20 times draw in order to then skip the animation completely. I mean, I guess it's just a little more quality of life at the end of the day. It's not like the worst thing. The storage limit for War Pet skill cards has been increased, and the user experience has been improved. Okay, I think this is something that probably a lot of people are looking forward to, and some people I'm sure have asked for. So this seems quality of life. Okay, there. On the hero recruitment screen, you can now only open one free silver chest per day. Whoa, but don't worry, as you will also be given more free silver keys in Titan's Legacy. Whoa. Okay, that hurts. That hurts a little bit. Because what you're doing is you're removing something that you were already giving for free, and you're nerfing that. That's never going to be looked at good. Remember, it's in some cases, oh gosh, yeah, this is like, it's like you're stealing people's lunches at that point, right? Like that's how it feels, and that's very much how it looks. This I don't think is a good move. I understand that you're going to be given more free silver keys in Titan's Legacy, and you're hoping that people will engage and grind that out more. However, you can still keep the same system and then just improve Titan's Legacy. Right? We don't have to swap. We don't have to do like a removal, but then we're going to overbuff or add more on than what you would get there. But I get it. They want people to engage more in Titan's Legacy and give them something more to look forward to on a day-to-day engagement basis. However, I just don't know if I agree with this particular move on them removing free silver chests, right, which you could get 5, so they basically nerfed it by 4. I don't know if I agree with that one. I think right now I'm leaning more to no. But, yeah, I mean, you guys let me know what you think on that one. Alliance help progress will now be shown on the technology and construction speed-up pages. This is a win. I'm going to take that as a big quality of life. It's nice to be able to see where I'm at, right, without having to do extra clicks before you potentially use speed-ups once you get to max helps. Okay, number 3. An even richer combat experience. New March attack mode. Enabling March attack will allow you to give March attack orders while... Oh, I got to give March attack orders. Okay. While marching to a destination, your legion will attack any other lord's legions it encounters along the way. March attack can be enabled in settings general, or it can be enabled from the management screen after deploying a legion. The PC hotkey has also been changed to allow you to give orders more quickly. Okay. So basically, they're like giving a handicap feature for you not paying attention to your march when it's going from your city to where it goes to. Now, I wonder, so real quick, I wonder if they added this in. This is the first thing that comes to mind. I wonder if they're adding this in because of what was happening over the past couple of KvKs, where we saw a number of people that were random teleporting, and they were able to get to their opponent's area after passes opened for new zones. And we saw this with Nephisto was doing this a lot, and a number of other people as well. I think it was SP or someone else that was out there on the field. And I remember seeing this in their KvK, and a few others did this as well. But he was the first one I noticed it in, where him and others were able to random teleport close to their opponent's side of where their pass opened, following the choke point route line through, in order to get to where their alliance, Noor and others, were coming from. And they were just harassing the builders. Not only the builders, but the units that were trying to run march to like the bridge choke point or something that was a little bit farther up. So they were hitting them kind of mid-stride. So it was like they're coming here and he's just coming like this and intercepting them right before they get to where they need to get to. And so I wonder if this is the reason, or if it's also because, I mean, I'm sure anything, right? You could have calves or flyers that are out there and they're attacking units that are marching along. But part of me feels like this is just a part of the game. Like, you need to be paying attention. So do I agree with this kind of what feels like kind of a handicap, like toddler assist, bowling assist lanes, right? I don't know, because part of me, like, I get it. On one end, you want to be able to send your march out, have it get to where it's going to get to, and then you're going to pay attention once the fighting happens. Like, you probably don't want to sit there and have to watch your march the entire time as it's going. But the other side of it is that you're in the war zone, right? And so you should be paying attention. And if you're in a war zone, these are things you should be paying attention to. So at the moment, I think I lean a little bit more to like not being in favor of this, right? I understand why they would include something like this, but I also feel like it takes away a little bit more of players having a level of accountability and responsibility to paying attention while they are in a war zone and needing to have some level of cognizant ability and awareness to things that are happening around them, right? And or it also not only is the player's responsibility, but it also could be the alliance's responsibility for those in management or those that are war leads who are paying attention to surroundings and also informing players to make sure they are also aware of their surroundings in addition to players doing it themselves. So yeah, I mean, do I think this is going to be game breaking? No, but do I think that it's going to reduce some of the skill gap and some of like the skill integrity of the game a little bit on that front? I do. And that's kind of how it starts. It's like a small thing here, a small thing here, a small thing here, and it builds up. And I just don't know if this is a change that I would have implemented at this moment or even at all. But I'm definitely leaning against this for the reasons I stated. But again, would love to hear what you think, right? If you agree or disagree, let me know. Number 2, to further improve the combat experience and balance the attributes and skills of some heroes and artifacts have been modified. Change into skills. Axiom of Glory previously inflicts infirm on the target legion and 2 nearby legions, increasing all damage taken by 10 to 20% for 2 seconds, while also healing lightly wounded units in up to 2 friendly legions surrounding the target. Healing factor 150 to 350. Now, it deals diffused damage to the target legion and 2 nearby legions and inflicts infirm. Also heals lightly wounded units in up to 2 friendly legions near the target legion. Increase all damage. Oh, I see. So instead of... Okay, so let's look at this. So infirm damage taken is plus 10 to 20% for 2 seconds. Damage factor 200 to 400. Okay, healing factor hasn't changed. Rejuvenating blessing. Oh, I see. So this is just the next one. Okay. Huh. So basically we've changed this from inflicts affirm on the target legion, increasing all damage taken, to it's doing diffuse damage and inflicts infirm and also slightly heals lightly wounded units. Okay. So the only thing different here is that they added a damage factor to it. So it's dealing. So it's dealing. So basically they've buffed this a bit by dealing damage, but everything else is still applied. Okay. Someone can let me know if I didn't read that right. Rejuvenated Blessing previously increases Indus's Legion's HP by 10 to 20% and maximum Legion capacity by 1,500 to 7,500. Now, Indus Legion's HP is 10 to 20% and maximum Legion capacity is by 3 to 7%. So if we're going off of a 300k march, what is that, 10,000, right? So if I do 300,000 times 0.03, oh, 9,000, okay. So yeah, shocking. Okay, so 9,000, and then 4 would be 10? No. Let's double check. Let's just make sure I'm not crazy here, because I feel like my math isn't mathing. Oh yeah, so it is every 3,000 increments. I should have known that off of 0.3. So divided by 3. Again, you get 3,000 per 1%. So it's 3,000 per 1%. So this is 9,000, 12,000, 15,000, 18, and 21,000. So this is actually more, if that's right, and if that's how that scales. Again, maybe my math isn't mathing, but that would be more maximum legion. So this actually seems like a buff, if that's the case. Previously, inflicts infirm Oh, hang on, where am I going now? Okay, Oaken Order. Previously inflicts Infirm on target legion and 2 nearby legions, decreasing all damage taken by 20% for 3 seconds, while also healing lightly wounded units and up to 2 friendly legions surrounding the target, healing factor 450. Deals now diffuse damage, so they're changing this from Infirm to diffuse damage before, to target legion, 2 nearby legions, and inflicts Affirm. Also heals slightly wounded. Okay, so kind of the same thing. Infirm, damage taken plus 20% for 2 seconds, damage factor 600, healing factor 450. So same, but again, they just added the damage factor. You still get the... Oh, so Infirm, increase on damage... Yeah, so they... And then nerf this by 1 second, right? So it's 20% for 3, now it's just 20% for 2. Okay, change Nika's skills. Wow, there's a lot here. Assassin's Covenant. Previously, Nika's Legion deals 10 to 30% more peacekeeping damage. Now, it deals 10 to 30% more damage. Oh, so they removed the peacekeeping and gains... Ooh, so they're basically going the Lohar and Ethelfled route from Rock, where now they're giving EXP bonuses while peacekeeping, and gains 15 to 30% more EXP while peacekeeping. So this is going to help you level up heroes a little bit faster. I'm actually okay with this change. Change Boxy's skill. Sense Weakness. Previously, Boxy Legion deals 10 to 30% more peacekeeping damage. Now Boxy will do 10 to 30 and gains 10 to 25% more EXP while peacekeeping. Okay, I mean, same legendaries, but now there's different... I've always been confused on the differences here. Why not just make it the same? But okay, I get it. We need to be unique. Changed Alistair's skill. Spear of Judgment. Previously deals damage to target and 2 by nearby legions. Physical damage has physical factor 200 to 600. Now deals damage to the target and 2 nearby legions and inflicts cower. Counterattack damage dealt is negative 10 to 20% for 2 seconds. Damage type is physical. Now it's dealing this. So deals damage to target, okay, and inflicts cower. So it didn't do that before. So, okay, so reduces counterattack damage dealt. For 2 seconds, damage factor physical, 200 to 600, so still the same there. Skill range has also been increased. Okay. So, probably, I would argue this is probably a little bit of a buff. Light of Soreland. Oh my god, there's so many. This is a long one. Wow. Previously, when Alistair's Legion has over 50% units remaining, it has a 20% chance to gain riposte and passion when launching normal attacks, increasing counterattack damage by 30% and rage accumulation speed by 30% for 3 seconds. This effect can be triggered once every 5 seconds. Now, Alistair's Legion has over 50% units remaining. They gain riposte and passion for 3 seconds when launching normal attacks. Counterattack damage dealt 30%, rage accumulation speed 30%. Okay. Oh, I see. So instead of it having a 20% chance to gain, it automatically gains for 3 seconds. They've also... And then the speeds are the same. Okay. So effectively triggered once every 5 seconds instead of passion for 3 seconds, if that's right. Interesting. And passion for 3 seconds. Okay. Okay, so it's once every 5... Oh, wow. So I guess it's more continuous then, because impact for when launching normal attack. So if you're launching an attack every second, then that'd be 3. Again, I don't know if it is every second. Effect can be triggered once every 5 seconds. So will you last 15 seconds or longer? I guess you could. So in that case, maybe this is a little... I guess this does feel like it is a buff. Because, one, it's automatic and there's not a chance, so I think that's an automatic buff. But then the only thing is you're weighing on, are you going to last long enough to use this the amount of times that it would have been used previously? So there's that. Change Bakar's skills. Greyclaw Fury previously deals damage to the target legion and grants Bakar's Legion Rampage. Damage dealt is plus 4 to 20 seconds for 4 seconds. Damage type is physical, 300 to 600 for a factor. Now, the change deals diffused damage up to 3 enemies. What's up with this diffuse thing? In front, and grants Bakar's Legion Rampage dealt 4 to 20 seconds for 4 seconds. Damage type is physical, 3 to 600, so hasn't changed. Okay, so it's basically doing diffuse damage to enemy legions in front, so it's like a row or a fan. And then grants target legion and grants... Okay, so... Oh, I see. Okay, so... I wonder if this is a little bit of a nerf. Because... I guess it is the same damage. It's just being dealt across multiple. I guess it depends on how people feel about that. Because... I guess. Bakar... yeah, I don't know. I feel like I'm a little iffy on this one now. But I guess he's what, elite, so it's not. Yeah, I guess maybe I'm thinking too much about it. Fearsome Bro. Previously, oh my god, how many changes are there? Oh my lord, dude, this is a massive one before we even get to all the goods. Jeez. Okay. Previously, when Bakar's Legion is hit with a normal attack, they have a 10% chance to inflict gloom on the target, reducing their attack by 5 to 25% for 4 seconds. This effect can be triggered once every 10 seconds. Now, when Bakar's Legion is hit with a normal attack, they have a 20% chance, so 10% increase, to inflict gloom on the target, reducing their attack by 5 to 25%. So that hasn't changed for 4 seconds. That hasn't changed. Okay, so they increase this by 10%, so a little bit of a buff. Last-Ditch Strike. Previously, when Bakar's Legion has less than 50% units remaining, they have a 50% chance of inflicting bleed on the target when counterattacking. Deals damage every second for 3 seconds. Damage type is physical, 200 for factor. Now, when Bakar's Legion has less than 50% units remaining, they inflict bleed on the target when counterattacking. Oh, so it's automatic instead of having a 50% chance. Deals bleed for 3 seconds, so nothing's really changed. They've basically just buffed it. At least is in particular details. Change Eliana's skills. So it's interesting how they're buffing some of the lower tiered heroes, at least grade-wise. Change Eliana's skills, Purifying Touch. Previously, Eliana's Legion deals 7 to 25% more peacekeeping damage. Now, Eliana will deal the same, but now 10 to 20% EXP. Okay, so they got 3 heroes now for EXP changes. I'm okay with it. Change Craig's skills, Building Frenzy. Previously, increase engineering when building on the field, 10 to 20%. Now, increase engineering 10 to 20% when building or destroying buildings in the field. Oh, nice. That's a buff. I like it. Change Staff of the Prophet Artifact skill. Previously, 8-hour cooldown. Select a friendly legion within the current region and within alliance territory. After a 15-second charge up, your legion and 1 to 5 nearby legions are teleported to the target's location. I've always really liked this one. Your legions will be prioritized for teleportation ahead of any other friendly legions. Now, there's an 8 to 3-hour cooldown. I like this, a little bit faster. This is nice. Select a friendly legion within the current region. After 6-second charge up, your legion and 5x5, okay, so 5 nearby legions are teleported to the target's location. This I like. This is a buff, and this is something that allows for a little bit more tactical play in the field. I'm a fan of this. This is nice. Your legions will be prioritized for teleportation ahead of any other friendly legions. If the target is within alliance territory, cooldown is greatly reduced. Okay, nice. I'm a fan of that. Changed Wolf Woman of Halor artifact skill. Previously, immediately teleports your legion to a selected empty area. Range is 15, 17, 19, 24. Legion returns to their original position when the skill is cast again, or 15 seconds after casting. Select an empty area within range to teleport your legion to that location. 15 seconds later, or when the skill is recast, your legion will return to its original location. The first enemy legion that your legion attacked after skill was cast takes additional damage. Oh, nice. Okay. Range has been increased, 18 to 30. Damage also 15 to 30% of damage dealt to that legion after the skill was cast. Wow. Okay, so a little bit of a buff here. This is kind of like a blitzkrieg type of, like an assassin type skill, right? It's almost kind of what it feels like, but I'm all for it. Change Ancient Root, Tree Roots artifact to tribute. Previously, Legion load capacity bonus 7 to 37.5. Now it's 8 to 40%. Now gather speed. Ooh, I like that. I'm down for more gather speed over potential Legion load capacity bonus, because I just don't think that that's really needed at this point, unless they're going to come out with higher tier level nodes for Home Kingdom, and or if it's needed in KvK, obviously, because tile nodes will increase there. So I'm actually for this. I like this. Changed Springs of Silence artifact skill. Previously deals diffuse damage to up to 3 enemy legions in a designated arc. Damage type physical. Damage factor is 16 to 3200. Damage targets are slowed. March speed negative 20% for 10 seconds. Now the changes deals diffuse damage up to 3 enemy legions in a designated arc, which is still the same. Physical type and factor is the same as well. Damage. Oh, here we go. Damage targets are slowed. March speed negative 60% for 10 seconds. So that's big. That's a 3 times increase with a massive slow attached to it now. That could definitely see some play. Changed Graymar's Warhammer artifact skill. where it's previously deals diffuse damage up to 44445 enemy legions in a designated circle. Physical 1600 to 3200 damage factor. Damaged legions are stunned for 2 seconds. Effect can be triggered once every 10. Now, the changes deals diffuse damage. Deals diffuse damage up to the same enemy legions as designated circle. Physical damage legions are stunned for 4 seconds, so they've doubled that. So basically, they just doubled the stun time for for the artifact. Grey Mars Warhammer. Okay. Excuse me, but that's a buff. Skill AoE radius has also been increased. Never mind. So AoE radius has also been increased. So you could potentially stun more people. So you could stun some more people, and it lasts twice as long. That's a buff. Improved Dragon Trail user experience. Here we go now back to the regular deets. This is a long patch notes. Adjusted unlock conditions for auto battle. It is now unlocked after beating stage 5, previously stage 20. Okay, so they're doing it a little earlier. That's a win. Better quality of life, thank you. So I guess it depends, right? Because I have been advocating for like more grindy manual usages. Dragon Trail is one of those things where it doesn't reset anymore, right? It's just a one-time you go. Even though I made the same argument as well for, yeah. In that case, maybe they shouldn't have auto battle. If this is something that is similar to that, I have to stay consistent with my view, which is that this is something that allows for you to gain rewards and to get progression. This is something that should not have an auto feature. It should be all manual, and that's what I'm going to stick by. Added new auto challenge feature. Enabling auto challenge will allow you to automatically enter the next stage after beating your current stage if auto battle is available for the next stage. Then your legion will enter auto battle if auto battle. Oh, so things are just becoming automated. This is the automation update. That's what we're going to call it. This is the age of automation. That's what it should have been titled. Number 4. Here, improved scoring rules for Supreme Ancestors or statues. Now only one of the parties needs to be within the statue's challenge range for either side to score points by gaining merits. I mean, this is my thing, right? Is like, if you're in it, you should just be gaining, right? The only, like, let's just keep it simple. If you have two sides, if you have units from opposite gates, we'll say that are in the statue area, no one gets points. You only get points if one gate side of players are in the area, right? So keep it like, think like Halo King of the Hill. Think like Call of Duty Domination, right? Again, think of it like that. I think that would be a lot easier to do it instead of like trying to figure out all these things, right? If you want to score points by getting merits, just switch it up. Make it a team deathmatch, right? Again, think objective ways to play out. Again, we've been saying this for a number, and I'm going to keep saying it. Supreme Ancestor statue can be so much more than what it is right now. Think objective game modes and tailor statues to that, right? You switch it up. You switch it up every cycle. Maybe you switch it up per zone, whatever it may be. But it needs to be more than what it is right now. Number 5, dynamic difficulty added for Behemoths. When a Behemoth letter opens, the Behemoth will become progressively weaker. Behemoth difficulty will be reduced as the season progresses. I don't know how I feel about this. Because they already made the change where now it's unlimited amount of people can participate in Behemoths, at least for regular raids, we should say. Before elites, which I believe still do have the caps. But now you're going to reduce Behemoth difficulty as the season progresses. Maybe, so this is interesting. I mean, obviously you can't reduce it based on attempts because then people can just manipulate that. I don't know. So I'd love to see the data now that you have all players unlimited amount being able to do the normals. Now, does this also apply for elite raids as well? Because if that's the case, I just don't think that's the way to go, honestly. I'd like to see maybe a season or two more of how is it playing out where everyone from the Alliance can do the regular raids. And then from there, what's the rate on elite raids being captured season to season? Like, where's the data to show that this is the way to do it? Now, maybe people have been advocating for this in the suggestions channel on the official Discord or have been hitting up VIP support about it. I haven't heard this. I haven't even seen this talked about in general chat where people are saying we need to scale this back where they become weaker, week to week, as an example. So I don't know. I feel like there's enough in right now where like maybe because some of this is recent, we should let it play out another season or two just to see how it looks. And then if you maybe need to add something like this in, okay, maybe we can have a conversation about that. But if people are just over the moon with this, I'd love to know, because I don't see this being screamed from the rooftops. Number 4, a more accessible map. We're almost done now. Improved flip speed for divination cards when exploring caves, allowing you to more easily reap the rewards of getting a huge success. I do agree that this could be a little bit faster as far as like the cards that line up and then you get to flip. I felt like it almost felt like a freaking animation, like a short film. When searching for Darkling Legions and Bellerin forces, the maximum level of Darkling Dwarven Patrol that you can search for is now set at the highest level of unit that you can launch an attack against. Okay. Quality of life, why not? Number 5, more enjoyable events. Interesting, let's see what they do here. Summer's here, and the Summer Soiree event series is coming soon. Incredible, so it's seasonal. Rough. Incredible rewards, including holiday-exclusive city themes, avatar frames, and nameplates away for you. Okay, festival. Okay, I'm not going to read these because those are just standard. We all know. Great Heights, a mid-countless trial, surpass your boundaries is end of the glory, so we know that's coming, and then it's a bunch of seasonal events. It's all pretty standard. The comeback event will become available. We've prepared amazing homecoming gifts to help old friends return to the battlefield. You can also choose to begin your adventure anew in a new realm. So now it's like we're really adding a bunch of stuff from Rock and other kingdom builders in now, because Rock has a feature like this as well, where if you've been gone for a little while, you can come back and start in a new realm. It's not like a free migration type of thing, so to speak. You will be limited on what you can do, on where you can move, I would assume. But yeah, I don't know. I just don't know if this is needed, right? These to me feel like Band-Aid fixes instead of just addressing some of the root challenges that the community feels as it pertains to migration and more flexible movement, where it doesn't cost as much. We'll talk about that later. Number 3, Behemoth Raids user experience improvements. Frost Giant, Thunder Rock, Magma Daemon, and Frost Dragon are now available in Behemoth Raids. Each event lasts 2 days, and with a random behemoth available each day. Whoa. In Behemoth Raids, okay. Each event lasts 2 days with a random behemoth available each day. The same behemoth will not be available twice. Challenge one or both and claim incredible rewards for victory. Oh, okay. So this is like more like PvE raiding type things. Okay, so I'm assuming this is something separate because it's under events. If that's the case, I kind of like this, but I want to see how it looks. Adjustments to Titan Legacy Challenge. Certain daily challenges have been removed, and Alliance Donation challenges have been moved to seasonal challenges. That makes sense, because I don't know if you would put these in dailies, especially if you've maxed out tech. You won't be able to really get anything from it anymore. An improved Alliance system. Now we're almost done. Personal honor point rankings are now shown in the Alliance rankings in Season T1 and B2. That's a win. We'll take that. When purchasing daily deal bundles, the 3 wooden Alliance chest issued will appear on the Alliance gift page as one special wooden chest, which contains rewards equivalent to 3 wooden. Okay, that's nice. So this is consolidating. I'm okay with that. The base capacity of Alliance storehouses has been greatly increased from 500,000 gold, wood, 250k ore, 200k mana to 1 mil gold, wood, 500k ore, and 400k mana. So they've doubled it. Okay, I'm a fan of that. Coordinates given in Alliance decrees now include server information. When the coordinates are located in another server, you can tap to view the location on that server. Okay, quality of life. I'm down. Migration items are now available in the Alliance store and will be restocked every week. You can purchase limited amounts of migration items using Alliance points. Okay. We knew that was coming. Improved Alliance donation user experience. When you have multiple Alliance donation chances, the option to quick donate will appear after your first donation. This will use up all existing donation chances. Okay. I guess. I mean, do I think it's like that bad to click it 10 times? Not really. But what can I say, man? This is the age of automation update. I just don't know how I feel about that. Improved layout of announcements and settings. It's so funny because like I say like one thing for like certain things, but then there's other things that you could still, they're not exactly the same, but you could loop in. It's like, oh no, I'm not slightly okay with that. I don't know. This is, I feel like I've read so much at this point. Improved layout of announcements and settings pages on the Alliance screen. Okay. All right, so quality of life. Would have been nice to go into specifics, but sure. Improved hero dialogue. Number 7, incredible story content. Improved hero dialogue experience in the city. Heroes will interact with you more promptly and considerately. And number 2, improved story experience for Seasons 1 and 2. After choosing to skip dialogue, you'll receive a summary of current plot. Okay. All right. Number 8, other improvements. These are the ones I like the most. Improved because I just feel like it's Russian roulette. You just don't know what you're going to get. Or I'll just say roulette in general because I think some people took offense when I said Russian roulette, even though I just only meant it platonically. Improved, or neutrally I should say. Improved war pet skill icons, making different war pet skills more visually distinct, okay. Reduced the frequency of daily dialogues with heroes. Improved the reporting system. You will now receive the results of your report via in-game system mail. Oh, cool. So you'll like know if they've taken action on something you reported. Improved display of village quests and season adventures. Cooldown for Legion markers has been reduced from 5 seconds to 1 second. That seems like a nice improvement there. And that's it. Make sure you give your feedback. Wow. We were here for almost 50 minutes. This is an action-packed update. I hope you guys enjoyed this. My conclusion on this overall, this is, again, the Age of Automation update. I don't know. I overall feel like I can understand shortening or simplifying some things as far as animations and time consumptions, though it feels like more than half, the majority of these are progression-based time efficiencies that they're adding in, and I just think those things should still be manual, right? The example I gave earlier was I could understand like when you're going and you're doing a cave and you just don't want the cards to like take a million years to come out and then show you them, flip over, and then you get to pick one. Maybe the cards just quickly come in faster, and then they'll show you what they are and flip a little quicker, so maybe we just reduce the little time there on that. Right, so those are the kind of things I'm talking about. Overall, I do think there are some really cool things that they're adding in here. I think there's some massive implications for the season of Strife, and I think, and I'll say this, man, to me it really feels like you're going to have people, especially like me, who are going to pay a lot more attention to matchups that are chosen, and like I had mentioned and alluded to earlier, who's dodging who wants what smoke, who wants to jump under the fire with others. You know, and that can also impact movement from kingdom to kingdom as well. So there's a lot here. There is a lot, and I'm going to do a separate thing to talk about migration and kind of give you my thoughts and my hard truths on it as well, because people have been asking me just what do I think about the overall situation, and I'll be doing a separate video on that. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. That's going to do it for me. I'm out of here.